All right, welcome team to your October All Hands. Thank you so much for hopping in. It's the second Tuesday, it's 1900. That means we're about to spend the next hour talking about all the great stuff that the South Branch did and all the great stuff that the South Branch is going to do in the month of October. So we will have our typical standing agenda, this kickoff, roll into current operational updates, move through the geographic areas, the functional areas, close it out with some announcements and recognition. So we are on our typical schedule, even as we are coming at you from an atypical location for reasons we will talk about in just a couple of seconds. As everybody, I think, is tracking, it is Spooktober, so hey, get ready for some Halloween fun. This call is going to get a little scary. Our standing orders across the branch. We continue to fight hurricanes, especially down the great state of Louisiana. You are all on permanent orders to kick disasters in the teeth wherever you encounter them. And we will continue as an organization to crush the coronavirus. As long as we are fighting this pandemic, every operation is a coronavirus operation. So with all that being said, I'm going to reveal the secret reason why you are looking at all of your South Branch staff sitting here in Houston. Mr. Lehman, why are we here, sir?
Right, so we are here to welcome a new staff member to our South Branch team. She is Kayla Hall. She is coming in as our North Florida Operations Associate. She just started yesterday, and so she is here doing her onboarding week, and we're just essentially hazing her all week and just filling her with tons of knowledge. So I'm going to turn it over to Kayla so she can introduce herself to you.
Kayla, come forward.
Hi everyone, I'm Kayla. I'm really excited to be here. It's been a really busy past couple of days, but it's been really awesome to learn about the team here, and I'm glad to be seeing some faces that I'll be working with in my next when I get started.
Is that your fadeaway? We gotta work on your fadeaway.
She's super modest, but she's also super mean with a chainsaw. Kayla Hull, everybody. North Florida, get excited. South Florida, hang tight. We hope to have some exciting news for you guys soon as well. Bringing the slides back up.
So weird.
Very slowly. Okay, I can't do that too much because it's going to get weird if I do. Let us go to our operations updates. There we go. Operational update. Over to Steve.
Hey everybody, good to see all of you guys. Thank y'all for joining. So hopefully you guys can see the map. I can't see it up there. One, I want to call out those three photos. Pretty awesome. That's recent photos of the three FOBs we got in Louisiana. For all of you guys that have deployed, thank you. If you're interested in deploying, we're still actively rocking and rolling down there, so check that out. On that map, you're going to see all of the awesome operations that you guys have been able to plug in on and support and have significant impacts. The two yellow ones you'll see. We got a recovery opportunity in Tennessee and in Florida. So stand by for some more information if you're in those areas to get involved as those teams plug in and start collecting the necessary information. We are going to go down. You'll learn about from 3 FOBs down to 2 in the very near future in Louisiana. But again, we are still open for business and keep doing what you're doing. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much. And then moving to our rebuild update, who Elizabeth is covering.
Hey all, so I am going to do my best to channel my inner Brandon and pretend to like the Astros today. So he cannot join us, but did want to give you guys a quick update, which is the photo that you are seeing. We now have more details about it, but that is the DuraBliss new resilient product that they're using. That is the ultimate goal of the resiliency initiatives that they're working on here at Rebuild, and it is helping homeowners build the capacity to self-recover. Coming up on the 18th of November, Brandon's actually going to do a think tank And that's going to be recorded and shared out on SharePoint for all of you if you want to learn more about the resilient materials and how they do all the different things here at Rebuild and how they go about rebuilding. Some great news for, you can see the numbers, they're slowly knocking out more houses here in Houston, but they have 15 complete in Lake Charles and Orange with 9 in progress, and that is the remaining homes that they have on the docket. So they're in the home stretch for Orange and Lake Charles. There are 2 new locations that are in the final planning stages for Rebuild, which is Selma, Alabama, and Haines, Alaska. So they are going to be working on kicking those out the door, and they are doing initial planning for if there's going to be an opportunity to rebuild in response to Ida. So as we said last month, and we're still trying to evaluate how we can re-engage volunteers here at Rebuild in the COVID environment, but look forward to that news coming out hopefully by the end of the year. And with that, I am no longer Brandon, so the Astros suck. Go Red Sox!
Like you're in the wrong branch to be a Red Sox fan. So we're going to have talks about that later with Elizabeth. But we will keep rolling for the sake of time on this call and move into our geographic area updates, starting off with the Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi team.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging tonight. Elizabeth, I was the cowboy hat you were just wearing. I was a Marshall County Marshal in high school, and that's the mascot's hat that you're wearing there. So, Geo Missile's been busy lately, y'all. We've been supporting a lot of things in Louisiana, but I want to highlight Georgia specifically this evening. As you can see on the slides there, if you can hear me, we have 7 new coastal Georgia leaders that we've onboarded or onboarding at current state, and 5 that are being vetted to be onboarded coming up. So Georgia's been busy with all the entertainment that we've had in Louisiana. There's some events coming up in roll call in Georgia as well that you can see there on the top right of the slide. And every first and third Thursday, Georgia and Alabama have a sit and sit still. We're not going to stop those for a while as far as we've discussed. So y'all come hang out on those. Make sure you check roll call for it. And the main highlight I want to put there, you can see at the bottom, is that all of the Georgia Gray Shirts going back to 2017 have been reached out to engage our new Gray Shirts. And that has, we have gained 102 new Gray Shirts in the last 90 days. So thanks to that team there, really building out. We've got a couple of resilient cities that we're, Atlanta being one of those in that coastal community that you can see there in Savannah area, that they're doing a good job building those leaders out. And I need to point out that the entire Geo Missile area has really supported Louisiana, either behind the scenes, remotely, or showing up down there on the op. So thanks to the team. It's good to see you guys. Hope you have a good evening.
Thank you, Jimmy. We're going to keep driving north up into the mighty Carolinas team.
Good evening, everybody. I would like to present to you Amy Smith, who is the Carolinas area membership lead, who is going to present our slide tonight. Amy Smith, over to you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's meeting. As you can see, we have 5 events coming up that you can sign up and roll call, and we're really excited about that because we haven't had too many events. So that's good news for that. A reminder to all our leaders to complete your leader onboarding. If you have any questions on what you need, please reach out to Chrissy Buckley. For training, when scheduling events or training, please give at least 6 weeks lead time for approvals and finding instructors. That's after you've found the site. We are actively monitoring the situation in Western North Carolina and reaching out to the North Carolina VOAD to determine how TR can support them. We would like to welcome Jeanette Davidson Mayer as the Carolinas area training lead, Lakeisha Good as the Greensboro membership lead, and Felicia Crabb as the Wilmington membership lead. We would like to bid farewell and our heartfelt thanks to Mike Garrison. He's stepping down from Western Carolinas admin, and Jack Grandy is stepping down from area admin. We are hiring Carolinas area admin, Western Carolinas admin, Carolinas finance, and numerous metro positions. So if you know someone interested in leadership, just have them apply in roll call. And a shout out to Arnie Cabos for her continued passion for Habitat for Humanity and TR collaboration. She has an event every third week, so with Habitat, and we're really thankful for that. And that's it.
All right, thank you, Chrissy and Amy. And we are going to roll to Kentucky, Tennessee.
All right, so for Kentucky, Tennessee, Kate is out on some much deserved time off this week because she got married over the weekend. And so she is on her honeymoon. So many congrats to Kate and her newly wedded bliss. So for the slide, Kentucky, Tennessee, we can all see the upcoming events that are on the calendar going all the way through mid-November there. The stuff that was completed back in September, we did Operation Tennessee Rivers Rumble, a Core Ops Class 2 service projects, and a recruiting event. And coming up, they are planning a TR Instructor 1 and 2 mitigation and recovery ops, one in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, and one in Hickman County, Tennessee. Another point of pride, I know Kate is big on this. She's set a goal for herself and for the geographic area to be able to get 100 brand new deployable gray shirts this year, and we're proud to say that they're sitting at 96 so far, with still a couple months to go. So that's awesome, and congrats to the leaders on the gray shirts there in Kentucky and Tennessee for driving those membership drives and getting people engaged there. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Jim. Congrats to Kate. Don't sit down so fast just yet, because we're rolling down to Florida. The last slide of a united Florida. Renee.
Yes, I am here. Good evening, everyone. As you can see from the slide, we have had a lot going on and also upcoming. So just a quick run through on this. We had a Veterans Yard Cleanup project this past month in Jacksonville Metro, and also saw one training there as well. And so we've also started up our virtual campfires, which we're now doing quarterly, and getting great response from across the state to those events. The last one there was on September the 24th and hosted by the Orlando Metro. So I want to give a quick few shout outs. Last month we had a whole bunch of shout outs, and again this month we've got a lot of folks who've been very active. But with everything that's on the calendar, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Carmen Bremer, who is our training lead, to Jude Panetta, who is our logistics lead, and Don Aiken, who is deputy. Because with everything we have going on in the state, those folks have been actively involved in a significant portion of it. So I just want to make sure that we take the time to acknowledge those folks who are keeping their nose to the grindstone and keeping us moving in Florida. Also, since we met here last, we had 14 Floridians deployed, including 4 volunteer leaders. Mark Suggs was LSC at Operation Won't Back Down. Roy Lombard, also Kevin Lang, and Kevin Lucy, who I inadvertently omitted last time. He actually was at the knock in the very early stages. So lots of folks very active. What we have coming up, Stop the Bleed, October the 16th in West Palm. We've got a virtual event, Florida What's in Your Go Bag, on October the 22nd. We've got 3 different Sawyer proficiency cuts coming up, West Palm, Melbourne, and Jacksonville. And then Core Ops course with an associated social out at Fernandina Beach on October the 23rd. That's Jacksonville Metro. So also just a quick shout out to the folks in Jacksonville. We designated them as our North Florida pilot metro because they were the closest to having their team built out, and they have been very active in the last several months. So just a big shout out to that team up there, and Steve Carrier, who is their plans lead, who's been taking charge on a lot of stuff. So lots of stuff going on. We do want to take a minute to say farewell to Jeremy Hillingas, who was our state field operations lead. And Jeremy just had a new baby and is busy with the baby and family, so he's taking a step back. And so we do want to say thank you to him for the work that he put in, and also put the plug out there for any of our Florida Gray Shirts who might be interested in state field ops. So that's all I've got. Back over to you, Drew.
Got so many devices in front of me. Thank you, Renee. We will slide out west to North Texas and Oklahoma.
All right, good evening, everybody. First off, I want to start by welcoming 3 brand new volunteer leaders to the Oklahoma, North Texas area. I've got David Reynolds is joining the DFW Logs team. Tom Adams and Richard Beckton are also joining the DFW planning team. Talking with them, they're excited to be here, and we are excited to have you. Welcome to the team, guys. As far as the upcoming events, here coming up on the 16th of October, coming up this weekend, I don't know if anybody heard a few years ago, the Garrison Brothers Distillery helped raise about $144,000 for Team Rubicon, and we've got 4 volunteers that are going to be going down there and supporting an event. It's going to be an awesome time to interact with some of these donors. Really looking forward to hearing some or seeing some good stories down there happen. Also coming up the very following weekend, we're going to have Instructor 1 up there in DFW, followed by that very next weekend down there in Austin in Round Rock. It's going to be Operation Vet Fest. It's going to be a great opportunity for volunteers to go out there and interact with local veterans and draw some attention towards Team Rubicon. Finally, coming up here just after the start of November, we are going to have our leadership engagement opportunity in DFW, since our TRLC opportunity was postponed due to COVID, which will also coincide with a service project. And we're really looking forward to that one. Volunteer leaders have been working really hard to get that on the books. So appreciate all y'all's hard work, and that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Dennis. Next up, we are going to move out west to Miss Amanda Walmsley.
Hi everyone, good evening. Updates from New Mexico, West Texas. We successfully had an awesome chainsaw weekend that included a saw proficiency cut as well as a Sawyer 1 class up in north central New Mexico. So we've got some Sawyers getting after it, which is awesome. Continuation of Operation Eagle Landing in Doña Ana Range Complex, which is part of Fort Bliss. That's going extremely well and continues to be extended, so really excited for the impact of our team out there. Upcoming events, we have a chainsaw tree removal service project 23rd of October in Roswell, New Mexico. So we've named that our alien tree removal project. And really want to also give a shout out to Chris Lloyd. He served on multiple waves as a logistics section chief and crushed it so hard that Brigadier General Cox awarded him with a military coin for his contributions in service. So way to go, Chris Lloyd. Thanks, Drew.
Thank you, Amanda. Congrats to Chris. That's awesome. And I made this joke the other day, but I'm making it again. It cracked me every time I see the photo. Just that parade rest, man. It just never leaves the muscles. You still got it. Still looking sharp, buddy. All right, rolling down south to South Texas.
Okay. Hey, Drew. Everybody. Okay, for the opposite South Texas Gray Shirts to support, we've had 44 South Texas Gray Shirts have deployed over to Louisiana for Operation Bow Down, or Won't Bow Down, and Eagle Landing. Some upcoming events. We have the post-op trail inventory and reset in Houston this Saturday. Core Ops class down in the valley in Westlaco is going to be in November. Habitat for Humanity here in San Antonio Metro here in October and November. SAW 1 class is still on the schedule for New Braunfels, October 23rd and 24th. Instructor 1 in Houston on December 4th. Fire mitigation for Converse, we're going to try it again, hopefully early 2022. Wow, gonna get used to saying that one. A few other notes from Elizabeth. Thank you to shout out to all the gray shirts who have deployed for Core Ops, the photographers, the swamping, the Sawyers, HE, and CNG. Also call out if anyone knows a gray shirt that would be a good fit for leadership. They can recommend the gray shirt and attend the intro to TR leadership, which South Texas will be hosting next week. And that's all from San Antonio. We're just getting ready for the flood tomorrow.
Oh, no flooding, bad words. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. And excellent. I love the dedication to the Converse op. It will happen. All right, so rolling last but not least, mighty Arkansas, Louisiana, the focus of all of our efforts.
Awesome. So for the past month or so, we've been focusing a lot of our efforts on supporting Operation Won't Back Down. We're encouraging and supporting local gray shirts to get out to the field. We've seen a great increase of first-time supporters from our geo area, so it's been awesome to see. We are working to maximize on this exciting growth in a few ways. Our local teams in both the New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Lake Charles, Lafayette metros are ramping up our relationship building with our emergency manager contacts and VOAB partners like SVP and Habitat for Humanity to start identifying opportunities for us to start helping with the long-term recovery aspects of those who are affected by Ida. So we are in conversation with potential long-term Type 5 recovery operations that we can launch here with our local teams. I do have a couple of exciting announcements as well. You guys should all know our dear Danielle Maples. She has been our planning lead for the past year, and with the support of our branch planners, drove many of our planning efforts in Louisiana. This amazing lady recently accepted her dream job as emergency manager for our hospital system in Lafayette and is killing it. But with this new chapter, she will be transitioning from her role in planning to serve as Metro Admin for the Lafayette Lake Charles metro area. So we're excited to see her take on this new challenge, grow TR's impact in that community, and build a badass team who gives back. So congrats, Danielle. I'd also like to take a moment to introduce someone else to our team. Matthew Machado joined TR back in 2020. Since then, he has deployed to Operation Rouge Tiger in Baton Rouge. We had the opportunity to get to know him, and he's an awesome dude with extensive experience and a passion for service. He currently works actually at Dow Chemical. It's one of our generous and dedicated TR partners and is a man of many talents. And we are excited for him to join our team as the new Deputy Metro Admin for the New Orleans, Baton Rouge metro area. So excited for him to join our crew, and welcome Matthew. Building on all of this, we are working to complete our training and event calendar for 2022, focusing on capacity building and providing opportunities for folks to become Sawyers, Core Ops trained, site surveying, and so on. And we're continuing to drive outreach to all of our new folks who are joining the tribe and building relationships with folks who have recently deployed. And then last but not least, I want to give a huge shout out to our very own Laney for being one of the 12 veterans joining the Clay Hunt Fellowship Program Base Camp 8. We're extremely proud of him and excited for him to go through this journey. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to you, Drew.
Thank you, ma'am. That was a mouthful. Great work down there, guys. Wrapping up our geographic areas, we're going to roll into the functional teams now, starting with our mighty field leaders.
Hey, good evening. My name's Oscar. Basically, in the branch field operations, what we seek to do is develop and track operational leaders, operations and capacity. This is not for everyone, but if you see this being for you, then I ask you to talk to your metro leads, your geographic associates, and so on. We want to welcome a couple new folks from Florida. You might have heard their names before, but they're joining the team. Next slide, please. Thank you. We do have a couple of core ops and resettlement support going on. You see the dates that they are scheduled to demo up there. There is still opportunity, thanks to all the South Branch gray shirts who have been working hard there, who have been part of the command and general staff. There's still opportunity to do that. There's still a need. If you want leadership experience, there's still that place to do it. Still a place to do that. Also, resettlement operations goes on through at least the end of the month, and we'll see after that. Next slide, please. Lastly, what we try to do is each month do some training. We have if you've missed any of this training that you see there, that we have a stream channel that you're welcome to join. I'll post this link after the chat, but basically process technology leadership. Those are the areas that you want to find training in, you want to be successful and to be a successful field leader. You can join us next month, first Wednesday of the month at those times. And that's all I have, Drew. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Oscar, and thank you for driving us in the field. Moving into our training team.
Good evening, everyone. With training, we are still looking for cadre leads for Core-Ops 1. That is the one. Sorry. So we are still looking for cadre leads for Instructor 1 and Site Survey. We are in process of having Sawyer 1, Core-Ops 1, Instructor 1 courses. Please focus on those courses. The other courses that are virtual, please utilize them when we can. Also, we are Train the Trainers coming up is Instructor 1 and Recon Avon. If you're interested in becoming an instructor, please reach out. On Op Won't Back Down, so far we have had one Chainsaw Operations 1 class, or 2 Chainsaw Operations class, 1 Core-Ops course, 3 Site Survey courses, 1 that has not been inputted into EMS yet, and 8 roof tarping workshops. Roof tarping is a workshop right now. They are working on developing the curriculum for that, expected to come out mid of 2022. So hopefully we can get that out before next storm season. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Lisa. And if you didn't catch what Jen pointed out in the chat, Lisa's out there managing all our training and tearing down an operation up there in Hammond. So thank you, Lisa, for the update from the field. Continuing to roll into our planning team.
Hi, folks. We have both sides of our house, planning and situation. Both are working on preparing to do better, improve our process, and to improve what we're doing to be prepared for the next event. From the planning side, they're working on identifying potential FOBs and billets. They're training planners for storm readiness. They're working on potential storm cleanup, meeting with local VOADs. They're focusing on they're trying to make sure that our handoff from an MPT to CNG works well, and working on building better cooperation across state lines. On the situation side, we responded with 83 bulletins, which is actually a lot better than it was last month with the storms. But we still put out 83 bulletins and forecasts, and we're getting back to our ongoing projects. Sandy Niles continues to work on a recon decision matrix. That process yesterday, we met with representatives from the operations side of the house on that project, as well as on Allison Bett's brand new project. You know, where's a safe place to stage? One of the things we learned from our from Ida was we want to be really careful. You want to get close, but you don't want to get too close. Gary Flaherty and Russell Turner are continuing to work on assembling data to, our hope is that when we get a few glitches out of the way, we're going to be able to build some dashboards that provide online real-time information to folks that are both planning events as well as the CNG. Here's one that's important for how you can help us. If you have information, particularly about meetings with EMs, please tell us so that we can include it in the briefings. If we don't know about it, it doesn't get included. So maybe only you know about that. And part of our role is to make sure that everyone is well informed. So that's important. Dolph Holmes, who was running our forecasting team, is now the deputy responsible for all weather operations. That includes weather intelligence as well as weather forecasting. And last but not least, we're now just starting to get into providing information to CNGs as we recognize that intelligence doesn't end at the op board. It keeps going. They need more. We need to keep providing information. So we're going to try and build that up. All of these things, both sides of the house, from the planning and the situation side, all are continuing to improve the service that we bring to Team Rubicon and improve our processes. End of report.
Good. Thank you, plan team. Thank you, Bob. I am scared for when your future predictive techniques move out of the bounds of weather. Driving into our communications team, Ms. Morgan or Jeremy?
Me. Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Jeremy with your communications update. Tomorrow, the geo area newsletters will go out to all of our geo areas. So all our gray shirts will get those tomorrow morning. As you're going through EMS, please remember on the comms tab, if you're requesting social media, photographers, or any type of media outreach, please make sure you identify that on the comms tab for your events. We're always looking for photographers. Photographers aren't necessarily in a leadership role. They're out there taking pictures for us so we can get content back to Marcoms and development. But also so we have pictures and vetted pictures to be able to utilize across all of our media. Social media content, we're starting to work on getting that team put together so that can be more consistent. We do have the weekly post going out every week for all the events. So as we get the team built out, we're going to start doing a little bit more with the social media, specifically Facebook. Let us know if you have any content and ideas for that. We're always looking for new ideas. Thanks, and y'all have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. And let us move into the mystifying realm of technology.
And good evening from the Nerd Pod, folks. Light update this time. Starting with EMS, there's some additional details are added to the views in the Project Strike Team Alignment tab. Should make manual creation of the ICS 204s a bit easier. Roll call portal profile page was updated in the top left section to display geo area and branch instead of region and territory. That should be live as well. And wow, this highlight did not show up the way I intended it to. Anyways, a resettlement hub page was deployed. It's grouping all of the Afghan resettlement events under a single landing page. There is a link under there. Trust me, we'll get that cleaned up. Should be an active link. Work continues on the historical deployment records showing up in roll call. That'll be ongoing for a while. Moving over to 365, Microsoft Team live events will be getting a QA panel. That was by the end of the month, I believe, September, should be live now, which also allows for anonymous question asking. To add a QA to the meeting, just add the app during the scheduling process. There's a link right there to that, how you do that. End of the month, the collected responses from an open text poll in Teams can yield a word cloud to help presenters get a quick view of the top phrases people answered, which is kind of neat. And as a reminder, no new Teams meeting recordings will be saved to Microsoft Stream. They're all automatically going to OneDrive for Business and SharePoint. And for all of us geeks, Windows 11 is now officially live. So for most of you Windows 10 users, that's a free upgrade. One caveat, if you're looking to do that, there are some pretty stiff system requirements. If your system is probably any more than about 3 years old, maybe 4, you will not be able to upgrade to Windows 11. However, Windows 10 is slated to be supported through 2025, I believe, right now. And that's it for us.
Trying not to be terrified by all the discussion of lost trailers in the chat, moving to, conveniently, our logistics team.
Hey guys, it's Kim here tonight. Just a couple of things. That the monthly log sync will be tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can figure the rest of that out. and that Q4 inventories and swag orders are due by 12/1. And last but not least, please make sure that when you're planning events that you are involving logistics from the outset so that we can help you. That's it for logs.
Thank you, Cam. I can see that Cindy has already planned her inventory, zeros for everything. Moving over to our mobilization team, Mr. Doug Skillman.
Good evening, everybody. Well, you can see there on the slide that we have 3 ongoing operations, and most of them, all of them, are going to be slated to end by the end of October. The numbers that I think are important are what you see up there in the top right-hand corner of the slide, and on the number of South Branch deployments. September was a huge month, and that's great to see that many numbers get available and deployed. We're working on identifying an easier way to identify CPAP users so that we can more easily, I hesitate to use the word eliminate, but so that they don't get deployed mistakenly to an operation. And we're still in need of people that live within the 450 mile of all of our ongoing operations, because again, we need the people. And we are dealing with the limited flexibility that's being provided by Airlink on our FlightWaves. So we're continuing to overcome and move forward. That's all I have. Thanks.
Doug, you heard mobilization. They need the people in the field. You know the people. Get the people to your mobilization team. And let's move to our membership team.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Jen. We're going to say.
Hi, Jen. You're in a safe place.
Thanks. We're going to welcome to the membership crew again, Lakeisha Good and Felicia Crabb. Our next national membership sync is Wednesday, December the 15th. You can see the times there. Our South Branch membership meeting is going to be Tuesday, October 15th, which is next week, I think. Yes, next week. And of course, everyone is invited to that. Come and learn some cool stuff about membership. We are working really hard to concrete our pathways to build even stronger new leaders. And before we have story time with Jen, we'll actually go to the next slide, please. These are our membership stats. You can see the numbers of new signups in the last 60 days have been pretty high. Pretty excited about that. So, you know, just keep bringing them in. And on that note, story time with Jen tonight. I'm going to read something really quickly from the September leader onboarding newsletter that came out. And it says, remember, it's the personal interactions we have with others that make the organization great. We look to each of our gray shirts, especially our leaders and staff, to help us maintain our culture and the gray shirt experience for everyone. And now I'd like to share a quick little thing that happened this last week when I was in Hammond. I don't know, I know many of you know that I was able to do some stuff at the beginning of the IDA operation on Advon and Recon. And so I was on CBS this morning doing an interview. It was pretty cool. I love and relish every chance I get to talk about Team Rubicon and the things that we're doing. So last week, went to the airport to pick up Lisa Dellinger, actually, and picked up another gentleman, and he was sitting in the back seat. And so I said, hey, when did you join TR? What made you join TR? And he said, yeah, I joined like September 5th or something like that. And I was like, wow, that's great. How'd you sign up? And he said, yeah, it was the day after my birthday, and I was sitting there watching CBS, and some lady came on the TV, and she was talking about TR and all the stuff they were doing for IDA. And, my wife was like, hey, that sounds like something you'd really like. And I said, yeah, that is kind of cool. And so I got on my computer about 30 minutes later and I signed up, and, you know, on September 11th, I was already out in the field. And I turned around very briefly, of course, because I was driving and paying attention to the road, and said, that was me. I was that lady on TV. So it was really kind of a cool moment to be able to see the, you know, the actual fruits of our outreach labor coming to fruition. And so I encourage all of you to shout your story and tell as many people as you can. You know, wear your TR garb out when you're out shopping. I promise you, people will ask you, what's that? You know, they'll see the disaster response and they're like, oh, that's cool. So that's my story time with Jen for this month. Have a good evening.
Story time with Jen. And yes, Art himself christened her Jen Hollywood Neater after that presentation. So thank you, Jen, for getting a few more in the fold. Let's roll over to finance with newly healthy, but probably still cantankerous, Mr. John DeToma.
Cantankerous is a rather mild word. Actually, I've been pretty calm the last, well, up until I found out what was going on out in all the operations out there. We got a lot of misinformation regarding finance. So we're working hard to try to get the right info out to all the people that relatively new and some of the older folks that hate to break bad habits. But anyway, I knew at some time during this year when we were introducing Concur, SAP Concur, in our turnouts for the initial dozen or so classes that we had to bring people up to speed were not that well attended. I knew as soon as we had some major operations, there'd be an influx, and boy, have we seen that happen in the last 30 days. But here's the SAP Concur virtual training that's in roll call. So I encourage everybody that's on this call to pass this information on to your gray shirts out there and get them involved with this thing. So I would like to say, you know, there's some things that we've also got to do is to get some additional gray shirt support in the finance realm. Again, you do not have to be an accountant. You do not have to be a CPA. You've got to be able to add, subtract, divide, multiply, and you got to be able to talk with people to get information and provide information. Feel free to give me a call at any time. You know, you can go in the greenhouse and look at the job description. It's pretty self-explanatory. Again, nothing is, we don't do all those fancy accounting things at the branch level. It's just we work with PEX card policies, and we work with reviewing expense reports and keeping things moving in the way of information. Big note here for people. I don't know how many times this has been mentioned, but when you're on an operation and your PEX card is funded, those funds are only for that specific event. If you have unused monies left over, they are not to be used unless you receive prior approval from senior leadership. That would be Drew, that would be Flory, you know, Bill Salter, those types of things. Because all this money has to be accounted for, is assigned to the operation. It's not to be used for travel on other operations that you have not been identified to participate in the way of PEX cards. So please do not use unused funding. I will be reposting the Afghan resettlement offset policy, which is basically similar to the vaccination policy we have. It's going to run for 14 days. Again, a maximum of $300 for the 14-day period. I will be posting that in chat. Drew, just ask, how much time do we have left? Because I've got to do a cut and paste and copy. I don't know if I'll have enough time to do that before the show ends.
You have 15 minutes, sir, but also I encourage you to listen to the general, because a lot of folks lose access to it.
Okay, I'll get right on that. I may call for help, but I'll anyway, I'll put the link in the chat box for everybody. And if anybody sees it, give me a thumbs up. That would do wonders for my ego. Hey, and I appreciate all the love and support I got while I was out. I unfortunately, for those of you who may not know, I was hit with the dreaded COVID deal back on September 9th, and that was the worst time possible. We were just kicking off Ida, and a big shout out to all my finance coordinators and everything. I was obviously gone, and big shout out for Cindy Barrett. She sort of jumped in and took control, and was doling out jobs, and everybody was supportive of her and of each other, and of course primarily of the operational activities. So I really appreciate everybody and how well they all stuck together. We're probably not the most popular people out there because some people still don't understand the concept of finance and how it pertains to everybody on the ground, particularly the card holders. We've still got people out that have yet to submit PEX receipts into SharePoint, and the operation is virtually over. So that's craziness. We need to know that information immediately after the PEX card is charged, so that we can update the finance tracker, so that the IC or the task force leaders, whoever we got leading the operations, know where their money is going. Doesn't do us any good if the people responsible for buying stuff don't give us the receipts promptly. So that's the big thing. So anyway, I'm probably down to 10 minutes now to get this copy and pasting, so I'm going to bark off. Thanks everybody. It's good seeing all the friendly faces. Thank you.
Thank you, John. To reiterate his call for help at the beginning, people who can add and subtract, so no Marines. Moving into wellness, I believe Sherry is covering.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Drew. Just a real short update from the South Branch Wellness. We wanted to let everybody know that we've been getting a lot of calls and reach outs, just mainly about folks who are being a little more triggered than usual on recent ops, mostly due to COVID. A lot of it is triggers to the Middle East being around the refugees. And we wanted to make sure that everybody knows we're still available and we're here. We continue our buddy checks to watch each other during all these trying and triggering times that we're having. I'm going to end with just a reminder to everybody how important your self-care is for all of us. It's okay to not be okay. I know you've heard that before. It's really tough to be a leader and support others when we ourselves might need our own support. So don't forget that. Also, make sure you're reminding yourselves what a great job everybody is doing every day. You guys are kicking ass every day. And something that's really, really helpful that might help build your resiliency, each of you can do, very easy. Just think about one thing, just one thing every day that you're grateful for. And that should help. Thanks, Drew.
Thanks, Sherry. And thank you for that reminder, guys. Make sure you are taking care of yourselves. Change your socks is one of our core tenets for a reason. Going to be moving into just a couple of quick announcements. First, salute to service. Our big annual fundraiser is scheduled for Veterans Day, so that's November 11th. If you're bad at your national holidays, there are two phases of this. The first is an in-person in New York City. Tickets to that are astronomical, so unless you are really banking big on crypto, encourage you to go for the second option, which is free 95. Virtual tickets are free. So anybody who is kind of curious to see what's going down at Salute to Service this year, Encourage you guys to sign up and check it out. They will ask you for money. It is a fundraiser. You don't have to give anything if you don't want to. So if you just kind of want to check out the entertainment, see what some of the auctions are and whatnot, you are more than welcome to kind of plug into it all and be part of the festivities. Another big announcement, well, maybe not a big announcement, a smaller announcement, but just I want your help to help make the all hands better. I'm going to be hosting a sensing session sometime in the next 2 weeks. So I will be dropping a quick survey at the end of the all hands tonight. So if you got 2 to 3 minutes, get in there, fill it out, send me a good time that you'd like to chat later so we can get a couple of those off the ground. So we're going to do some revamps heading into 2022 on what the South Branch All Hands looks like moving forward. Next up in the announcement phase, and this is a lot less fun than the others, announcing the hiring of our newest volunteer leader, Amanda Walmsley. Amanda is going to be leaving us as a staff member at the end of this week. It is the worst thing ever. We've had some time to process and have worked our way through the phases of grief. So I will instead just stop presenting drop slides and let her say a few words.
Thank you, Drew. Really just want to say how much I appreciate all of you and what an honor it has been to work with you in this capacity as an operations manager. I have truly believed that, through all the challenges our country is facing right now, all the politics and so many other things, that being able to work with Gray Shirts is sort of like working with the best of America. You guys truly are built to serve. You are so selfless, and especially you as volunteer leaders. You keep this organization running to help veterans, help others, help survivors of disasters. And so it's been an amazing experience, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter in my TR journey, serving side by side with you as a volunteer leader in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Oh, I need the wrong one. Something good. Thank you, Amanda. Yeah, like I said, it sucks to lose you, but we are so thankful for all that you gave us during the few months that you were here. Few months. You can tell it's been a long couple of days. We've been saying goodbye to Amanda a lot during the last several years of your service, especially in this latest phase as a staff member. But we're excited to see what you do as a volunteer leader, especially for that New Mexico, West Texas team, because I know they're very near and dear to your heart. And just for everybody, for coverage, if you do need things, typically stuff that Amanda would do, I will be her immediate coverage until we get that backfill worked out and in place. So for anything that you would normally be pinging her about, please do ping me. All right, getting back into the slides because it is a terrible thing to end on a downer. We do have a give 'em one to announce. This particular gray shirt volunteer, long recognized for her hard work in the Metro Administrator role, well known for her connections to local teams and how she has built out a metro area and what was previously for us a Gray Shirt Desert, but recently being recognized for her hard work on the Fort Bliss resettlement operation, critical stakeholder in getting in the field early, helping us stand that up, understand the challenges, and then served for nearly 2.5 weeks as the incident commander on scene. If you guys haven't had a chance to get out to the resettlement ops yet, very unique and very uniquely challenging environments. The work is demanding, the situation, the ground is physically taxing, and the political stakes are high. So Tiara Buckingham did an incredible job out there as incident commander. We're so indebted to her for holding that relationship strong, really building a very solid relationship with DOD. So if you see Tiara, give her big ups. She will be the second recipient of the snazzy new South Branch patch as soon as they come in from the printer. So thank you so much, Tiara, for all your work. All right, and that completes your scheduled all hands with the sole exception of closing words. from our leader and mentor, the one and only Mr. Jim Flory. Jim, over to you for closing remarks, sir.
Hey, Drew, thank you for not making me follow Amanda directly. That would have been tough to follow. And I'd rather not. And for me, it's been my personal and professional pleasure to meet, to work with Amanda. And I feel like I'm a better person for having met and worked with you. So thank you. And, that brings up, between the story Jen told earlier and Amanda's impact, I want to emphasize that to all of you, it's our impact as individuals and as people that really make the difference in TR. We all have a common goal that we strive for to help people in their darkest hour, those communities. But it is an individual standing in front of a camera, somebody checking over finance reports, somebody meeting somebody in an airport or a grocery store and telling their story, having their TR elevator pitch ready. Those are the individual impacts that you guys make as leaders that make the difference. And I may sound like a broken record. I say this every month, but I'm going to say it again and again and again, is that we can't do it without you guys. So thank you guys for all you do for us. The special people like Amanda, Jen, Tiara, thank you. And for all you guys that are out there doing stuff that we don't hear about in the background, but it is equally important, thank you. So that's all I got, Drew. We'll pass it on and give you back 3 whole minutes of your night.
Holy cow. Muted the wrong one again. Hey, thanks everybody so much for your time and attendance tonight. Thank you, like Jim said, for all the work that you do. I'm going to kill the recording. Staff will hang out for a couple minutes if anybody has any questions, so feel free to hang out, ask questions for a little bit, and then we're going to go all drink beer and play Cards Against Humanity. So that's our plan for the night. Thanks so much. Have a great October, everybody.